The Blueberry Blueprint, Why Your Bushes Are Dying and How to Fix It. I'm Sam, and I've watched countless gardeners make the same heartbreaking mistake with blueberries. You're about to learn why 90% of blueberry bushes fail and exactly how to become part of the successful 10%. If you care about growing delicious fruit and want to stop throwing money at dying plants, stick with me on Seniors Gardening Advice. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our gardening guides. This information is too important to lose.
The blueberry heartbreak is real. Every single spring, I witness the same tragedy unfold across gardens everywhere. Millions of gardeners visit their local nurseries filled with hope and excitement. They see those glossy photographs on the plant labels, bushes absolutely bursting with enormous plump berries. They imagine themselves baking fresh blueberry muffins for their families or topping their morning pancakes with homemade fruit. The dream feels so real, so close. They grab a bush, head home, and get to work. The planting seems straightforward. They dig a hole in their garden bed right next to where they planted their tomato plants. They position the blueberry bush in the ground, pack the soil around it, and give it a thorough watering. For a few weeks, everything seems fine. Hope fills their hearts. Then something shifts. It happens quietly at first. The leaves begin turning yellow. Growth slows down significantly. The energy drains from the plant. When berries finally appear, they're disappointingly small and mouth-puckeringly sour. By the time the third year rolls around, what was once a promising young plant has withered into nothing more than a dry, lifeless stick protruding from the earth. I've witnessed this exact scenario play out thousands of times, and it breaks my heart every single time. But here's what I want you to understand. This failure isn't because you lack gardening talent. It's not because the plant arrived damaged from the nursery. The real reason is far simpler and far more fixable. You treated your blueberry bush exactly like you would treat any other ordinary garden plant. But blueberries are not ordinary. They're not like your vegetable garden at all. This is crucial information, so please drop a comment below telling me what you've struggled with the most when growing blueberries. Your feedback helps us create better content.
Understanding the blueberry's wild nature. The blueberry is a wild creature. It evolved in the Rocky Mountains and marshy swamps of nature. It operates under completely different biological rules than your peppers or your roses or your beans. When you plant it in typical garden conditions, you're essentially asking it to live against its own nature. It's like asking a fish to climb a tree. Here's the fundamental truth. If you manage a blueberry bush using standard vegetable gardening methods, it will slowly fail, no matter what you do. But if you honor what this plant truly is, if you treat it like the wild, acid-loving beast it evolved to be, something magical happens. That bush will thrive. It will produce abundant harvests. It can actually outlive you. A happy, well-cared-for blueberry bush can produce delicious fruit for 50 continuous years. Some produce even longer. I'm sharing this with you because the time to make changes is right now, during the dormant season. The bushes are sleeping, they're not actively growing. This seemingly quiet time is actually the perfect window to fix past mistakes and set yourself up for success. In the months ahead, I'm going to teach you the 5 fundamental laws of blueberry cultivation. If you follow these principles, you won't just keep your plants alive and struggling, you'll have so much fruit production that you'll be calling your neighbors asking them to please take some off your hands. You'll be giving away containers of berries to friends and family. Your harvest will be abundant. We're going to explore the acid secret that most gardeners completely miss. We'll talk about the tap water poison that's slowly destroying your soil. I'll reveal the one difficult thing you absolutely must do in that critical first year, the thing that guarantees a lifetime of incredible harvests. Together, we're going to save your blueberry bushes. If you're finding this helpful, please like this video and share it with gardening friends who need to hear this message. Law number 1, the pH problem that kills everything. Let me introduce you to law number 1. This is the rule that almost everyone ignores, and it's the reason 90% of blueberry bushes simply don't make it. This law is about something called pH. Think about your typical vegetables. Tomatoes grow beautifully in neutral soil. Beans produce abundantly in neutral soil. Corn thrives in neutral soil. All these common garden plants love a pH reading of around 6.5 to 7.0. We call this sweet soil. It feels right. It works for almost everything. But blueberries, they absolutely despise sweet soil. In fact, blueberries will slowly starve to death in the soil conditions that make other plants flourish. This seems backwards, I know, but here's why. Blueberries evolved in pine forests and peat bogs. They spent hundreds of thousands of years adapting to intensely acidic environments. Acid is their natural home. Acid is what they crave and expect. Blueberries need a pH between 4.5 and 5.0. That's incredibly acidic. To give you perspective, that's almost like vinegar. Your regular garden soil at 6.5, that's way too alkaline for these plants. When the pH climbs above 5.5, something terrible happens at the chemical level. The blueberry plant loses its ability to absorb iron from the soil. The iron is there, the soil is full of it, but the plant becomes chemically locked out from using it. It's like the iron is locked behind a door the plant can't open. When this happens, you'll see chlorosis develop. The leaves turn yellow while the veins stay green. It looks strange and unhealthy. The plant weakens. It slowly starves despite being planted in nutrient-rich soil. It's a devastating situation. Now, you might think you can just sprinkle some coffee grounds on the soil and call it good. That's a common myth, and it doesn't work. Coffee grounds simply aren't acidic enough to make the necessary change. You need something more powerful. You need elemental sulfur. Here's how it works. Elemental sulfur is a natural mineral. When you apply it to your soil, the bacteria living in that soil slowly break the sulfur down. This process converts it into sulfuric acid. The acid gradually accumulates and lowers your soil's pH. But this takes time, real time. We're talking months, not weeks or days. This is why we talk about this now, during the dormant season. If you're planning to plant blueberries when spring arrives, or if you have existing bushes that are showing signs of struggle, you need to apply soil acidifier right now. Buy a bag of elemental sulfur from any garden center. It's inexpensive and widely available. Often it's labeled as soil acidifier. Sprinkle it generously around the drip line of each bush. That's the outer edge of the canopy where water drips from the leaves. Let the winter snow and rain work it into the soil naturally. By the time spring arrives and your bushes wake up, the soil bacteria will have transformed that sulfur into acid. Your pH will have dropped considerably. But what if your soil is naturally very alkaline? What if you live in an area with heavy clay soil or limestone bedrock? You're fighting against geology. You will never win that battle through amendment alone. Stop fighting nature. Instead, get creative. Plant your blueberries in large containers or raised beds. Create artificial islands of the right soil chemistry. Fill these containers with a mix of 50% peat moss, which is naturally very acidic, and 50% pine bark. Do not use regular garden soil. Do not compromise. Create that acidic environment they need.
Law number 2. Shallow roots demand special handling. Law number 2 is about understanding where blueberry roots actually live and grow. Here's a fact that surprises most people. Blueberries do not have legs, but they do have a unique root system. When you think about most plants in a garden, their roots reach down deep into the soil. They burrow down 3 feet or more, searching for water and nutrients. They have fine root hairs that work like straws, sucking moisture and minerals up from deep below. These deep roots make other plants fairly independent and resilient. Blueberries didn't evolve that way. Blueberry roots are incredibly shallow. They form a fibrous mat. Imagine a flat network of tiny rootlets that exists almost entirely in the top 6 inches of soil. This shallow design worked perfectly in their native swamp environments where the water table was high, but it means they lack those fancy root hairs other plants use to extract water from deep soil. They're basically terrible diggers. They can't reach down deep to find water or nutrients. This fundamental difference is crucial. Many gardeners don't understand this. They dig a deep hole, Place the young bush deep in the ground to make it stable and supported, and bury it. But buried deep is buried wrong. Planting too deep suffocates the plant. Those shallow roots need oxygen. Here's what you must do instead. Plant proud. When you position your blueberry bush in the ground, the top of the root ball should actually sit about 1 inch higher than the surrounding soil level. This seems wrong. It feels unstable, but trust the biology. Then mound fresh soil up around that root ball. This technique ensures perfect drainage. Water drains away from the crown. The roots can breathe. This matters intensely. Blueberries are swamp plants, so they absolutely love water. They need consistent moisture, but they paradoxically hate drowning. If those shallow roots sit in standing water for even 24 hours, they can die. By planting high and mounding soil, you create the perfect balance. The crown stays dry while the roots stay hydrated. There's another critical rule for shallow-rooted plants. Never cultivate around your blueberry bush. Don't use a hoe around it. Don't aggressively pull weeds near it. That shallow root mat is fragile. You will rip it apart with rough handling. If you need to remove weeds, do it gently. Handle the soil around your blueberry plant like you're handling something precious and delicate, because you are.
Law number 3. Water quality matters more than you think. Law number 3 addresses what you actually give these plants to drink. This is where many gardeners unknowingly sabotage their own efforts. Blueberries are extremely particular about water during the growing season. Because their roots are so shallow, they dry out incredibly fast. If a blueberry bush dries out even one single time during the period when fruit is setting and developing, it will drop every single berry. All your hopes for that harvest will fall to the ground. So you have to water consistently and carefully. You have to stay on top of it. But here's the problem. If you hook up your ordinary garden hose and water directly from your city tap, you might actually be poisoning your plant without realizing it. There are 2 reasons why city water is problematic. First, city water is chemically treated. It contains chlorine and other disinfectants that kill bacteria and keep the water safe for human consumption. Blueberries are surprisingly sensitive to these chemicals. They suffer under conditions that humans find perfectly fine. Second, and even more important, most tap water is hard water. It contains dissolved calcium and limestone. Every single time you water with hard water, you're raising the pH of your soil slightly. It's cumulative. Day after day, watering after watering, you're slowly undoing all the work you did with the elemental sulfur. You're gradually making your soil more alkaline again. You're poisoning the soil with creeping alkalinity. It's insidious because you can't see it happening. Blueberries demand rainwater. If you're serious about growing blueberries successfully, set up a rain barrel or rain collection system. Rainwater is naturally acidic. It's clean. It's free. It's perfect for these plants. If you must use tap water because you live in a dry climate or you don't have the ability to collect rainwater, there's a simple fix. Add a tablespoon of vinegar to your watering can before you soak your plants. It sounds a bit unusual, but it actually works. The vinegar neutralizes the alkalinity in the water. It counteracts the limestone. It saves plants. At this point, we'd love to hear from you. Comment below about whether you've been using tap water and if you've noticed problems with your blueberries. Law number 4. Blueberries are social creatures. Law number 4 is about something that surprises most home gardeners. Blueberries need companions. You go to your local plant nursery, you browse the selection, you find a bush labeled self-pollinating. The tag promises that you can grow blueberries from just a single plant. You think this is perfect, it's convenient. You buy just one bush and head home. Technically, the label isn't lying. A high bush blueberry can pollinate itself. It's biologically capable. But self-pollinated blueberries live sad, lonely, stunted lives. A bush that only pollinates itself will produce small berries. The yield will be disappointingly low. You'll get fruit, but not the abundance you dreamed about. The solution is simple. Never plant a blueberry bush alone. Always plan for at least 2, but ideally 3, blooming together. If you plant an early variety, like Duke, right next to a late variety, like Elliott, they won't help each other at all. Their flowers won't be opened simultaneously. They'll miss the window for cross-pollination. You need a sequence. You need a chain. Plant an early variety, like Duke, a mid-season variety, like Blue Crop, and a late mid-season variety, like Chandler. With this combination, when the Duke flowers are open, the Blue Crop is starting to bloom. When Blue Crop is at peak flowering, Chandler is coming online. The bees can bounce between them. They'll mix the pollen naturally. This cross-pollination triggers something powerful. It sends a hormonal signal through the plant. The berries respond by growing 20 to 30% larger than they would from self-pollination. The fruit also ripens faster. You get more berries that are bigger and sweeter. This is one of those magical secrets that separates abundant harvests from disappointing ones. Never plant a single blueberry bush alone. Always plan for at least 2, but ideally 3, blooming together.
Law number 5, the hardest sacrifice. And finally, we arrive at law number 5. This is the most difficult law. This one requires real discipline. This one tests your patience and your will. You order your young blueberry bush during the off-season. It arrives in spring, probably in April. You plant it carefully, following all the previous laws. You water it. You nurture it. Then in May, something amazing happens. Your young bush produces delicate, beautiful white bell-shaped flowers. They're precious little blooms. You get excited. Your heart races. You think, this is it. This year I'm going to eat fresh, homegrown blueberries. Here's where you must be strong. Here's where you must become the villain in your own story. If you let that baby blueberry bush produce fruit in its first year, you will stunt it permanently. The damage will last for years. Producing fruit requires an immense amount of energy. If the plant pours all its sugar and resources into developing berries instead of growing stronger, it will spread itself too thin. The bush will stay small and weak. Its root system won't develop properly. The canes won't thicken. It will never reach its full potential. You must pinch off every single flower. Do it in the first spring. Do it again in the second spring if flowers appear. Go through the bush methodically and remove every white flower you find. It hurts to do this. It feels wrong. It feels like you're wasting opportunity. But you're not wasting anything. You're investing. When you remove those flowers, you send a powerful signal to the plant. You're telling it, don't become a parent yet. Don't focus on reproduction. Be a teenager. Grow, develop, strengthen yourself. The plant responds by redirecting all that energy into the root system and the main canes. The growth explodes. The bush doubles in size. The structure becomes woody and strong. Here's the payoff. If you sacrifice the berries in year 1, you'll get double the yield in year 3. By year 5 or 6, the difference is staggering. By year 10, the difference is exponential. You've invested 1 or 2 seasons of patience in exchange for decades of abundance. Growing blueberries isn't like growing radishes or lettuce. It's not a quick harvest. It's a long-term relationship. You're planting a bush that could feed your children and grandchildren for 50 years. That's worth the short-term sacrifice. Your blueberry journey starts now. These 5 laws aren't complicated, but they're different from regular gardening. They require you to think differently. They ask you to honor the wild nature of these plants instead of trying to force them into ordinary garden rules. If you've been struggling with blueberries, you now understand why. If you're just starting out, you have the knowledge to get it right from the beginning. The difference between a dying blueberry bush and a thriving one isn't luck. It's understanding these principles and following them consistently. This knowledge came from years of observation and learning. Share this with gardeners you know. Subscribe to Seniors Gardening Advice for more practical gardening wisdom. Comment below with your blueberry stories, your successes, and your struggles. We're building a community of gardeners who want to grow better. Your blueberry bushes want to succeed. They want to produce. They're ready. Now you are too.